Cool. So we're almost live. For those of our buddies just joining, and also on YouTube, comment if you were to start a store, what kind of store would you start in the chat? And I'm just waiting for a little progress bar to load. And here we are. All right, welcome everyone. We're super excited to have Fergie on with us again today in a super friendly workshop about how to use Bravo to make apps. And I'll quickly share a few slides to kick us off. So yeah, I'm Grace. I founded Design Buddies full-time. I'm UX product designer at a large gaming company. And I randomly made Design Buddies in April of 2020 when I wanted to make some buddies in design, and here we are today. And so we're basically a community where all designers can level up. So we share a lot of resources, events, workshops like this. And then we also have all our social media links. And our friendly mod here, Anik, drop them in the chat. So y'all welcome to follow us and also follow Fergie. And then at any point of this webinar, you find something like really interesting, y'all welcome to share on social media. We'll reshare it as well. And just some quick house rules, events are recorded on the YouTube channel. So in case you missed any part of it, you can find it on our channel. If you don't want to be recorded or be part of any of the Zoom call, you can watch on our YouTube channel. Feel free to engage in the chat. It's meant to be like a really casual, chill, fun place. So welcome to talk to other buddies, connect with each other on the networking sheet, send each other a personalized invite on LinkedIn, telling each other that y'all met at this event. Go support your homies and your buddies. And we won't be using Slido this time, so we have a Q&A session towards the end, but if you have like a really burning question, then I'll be helping moderate that and asking Fergie during her workshop. Y'all also welcome to twin with us and have some Zoom backgrounds you can use, and share your takeaways, hop into Discord, have fun, and just vibe with our buddies here. I just noticed I've been saying the word vibe a lot, but yeah, just vibe basically. With that, I'll hand it over to Fergie.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. So excited to be here with another Bravo and Adobe XD workshop. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Fergie. You might know me as Rebecca, but you can call me either. It's all good. I'm a UX product designer and I'm based over in the UK, and I'm an Adobe ambassador. So really excited to share with you how you can use XD to create an actual app that you can launch on the App Store with zero code, like zero, absolutely no code. It's something I am really excited about, all these kind of no code tools. So really happy to share that with all of you. Alrighty, let me share my screen. And as we go through, like Grace has said, any questions, feel free, pop them in the chat and we can kind of answer them as we go along. Okay, let me move all these little Zoom things out of the way. Alrighty, so if you're familiar with XD, then this will look really familiar to you. I have an app that I'm going to be using as a kind of demo, but what I'm taking you through, you can do on any app that you may have already designed or any app that you design in the future too. So how XD and Bravo Studio works together is Bravo is a plugin. So you can design your app in XD, and then using this plugin, you kind of export all your artboards and everything to Bravo. And then Bravo has just endless capabilities in terms of using social media for login purposes, connecting to databases for live data and information, just so much. But today we're going to focus on e-commerce. And this is where Bravo can connect to Stripe for payment authentication. So to do this kind of thing, you'll need a Stripe account. They're free. So if you want to do it, make sure you have one of those set up. And then, yeah, so we're going to go through all of the different tags. So how Bravo works within XD is that we add these things called Bravo tags into our layer names. So if you are team name your layers, which I'm probably the biggest cheerleader for, this is going to work really well for you. If you're not, then this might be a little annoying for you, but it is basically all within the layer names and the artboard names. So you'll see, a few of these artboards have these things within square brackets, and these are Bravo tags. So let me just go to their webpage. They have an awesome little Notion document where they keep all of these tags. So it's not something that you need to memorize or anything like that. They have them all here, all very nicely organized. And since we're going to look at payments, these are kind of the ones most important to payment functions. But you can do all sorts like push notifications, you can do animations, play audio, maps, like so many things, all of the things. So this is where you can get them from, and it tells you what it's going to do, where you need to put this. And then there's usually a few kind of samples and demo documents there as well. So there's a lot of documentation to help you out in doing this yourself. So back to my demo app over here. This is a yoga app, and I created this for sort of class bookings, and then I extended it to be a bit of a store as well. So you could buy your yoga accessories. So we're just really going to focus on these couple of screens down here. I'm sure you've all created this type of thing before, so it's hopefully it's a little bit familiar. So this is kind of my product page here. This is my product screen. So this is where you've got like the yoga mat, there might be some blocks, there might be straps, yoga socks, leggings, anything like that. But I've just got one here, and that is because I have my list of stock or my products in a database using Airtable. So once this design is in Bravo, I then connect it to Airtable, and it is all kind of in sync that way. So instead of me having to put every single product into the design here in XD, it's actually going to do that for me in the background. So that way, if I update my product list to have more inventory, or I discontinue items or things like that, I don't have to come in here and edit this. It's just going to do it for me in the background, and we're not going to have to worry about it. So let's get going on Bravo tags. You'll notice that all of my things here are in groups. Now this is where all the layer organization really is going to help you out. Everything that you put on your artboard needs to be in a container. Otherwise, it's just going to randomly float and stick to the top corner when you load this into your phone, and it's not going to look how you want it to look. And that's because these containers is how Bravo knows and understands how to position things for layout purposes. So if you kind of think of it, if you're familiar with web design, think of it like your wrappers, think of it like your divs. That's kind of what the container is doing here. So my first container on the top here is just this kind of top bar, and it's literally just called container top bar. So within those square brackets that we've got container, the 2 colon, and then top hyphen bar, and then closing the square bracket. So all of these you can get in that master list, and then this is just how you add them to your layer name. You can have anything you want outside of the square bracket. So I tend to name these things so that I know what it is. That way, when I'm in the Bravo dashboard, it's really easy to connect everything all together. So I'll always give it a name and then use the Bravo tags. So this is just my top bar. This means it is going to stick and stay there whenever we're scrolling through any of the content. And there are also different types. If you don't want it to stick, then you would use a slightly different tag, but there's all those different options within that master tag list. The second thing I've added to this page, this screen, is the search functionality. So you'll see this one just has the container tag because everything has to be in, at minimum, just a regular container. So if I open this out, you'll see I have something called area. And this is just a invisible rectangle. So it's basically a rectangle shape. If I give it a fill, you'll see a red here. But you actually don't need to give it any fill or any border. This tells Bravo how big to make this container, what width and what height. So that's how we control the settings of that. And then you put all your content inside of it. So I have my search bar here with, the usual kind of background search bar, text input kind of bar, my icon, and then I also have a text layer with the word search. And you'll see I have a tag here. So this is component input text, which means that when we tap on this, it's going to be an editable text field, so we can start to type things in. It also automatically pops up the keyboard on your phone. And then we've added an action to this as well. So this is action filter. So this is allowing users to search and filter through the products that will display on this screen. So for example, there's lots of things here. They might just be interested in blocks. So they could put in blocks or yoga mat, and then that would filter everything off of the screen and only show results for blocks or yoga mat. So that's how you can do search, and that works. It works really well from how I've tested it. Then underneath that, this next container I have with my single product, because if you remember, I'm going to bring it all in from a database. If you're not bringing it in from a database and you're just doing it in here, that's totally fine. You would just make many of these, but I'm trying to work smarter and not harder. So that's why I've just got the one and I'm using the database. So I have a few things in here. Again, I've got the area to tell Bravo the container size. I've got my background, my product photo, the product name, and there's a tag here. So this Bravo tag is flexo, so flex with an O on the end. And this just means that if my text is too long to fit within this single line text box, it will just overflow to the next line. It won't truncate it or cut it off or anything like that. And you'll see I name my layers again, because when we go into the Bravo dashboard, it's really important for me to know which text layer is displaying my price, so that when I bind that, it actually shows the right price and nothing is confusing for the users. So far, so simple, hopefully. Down here, I just have a kind of regular navigation bar. This is not really anything specific to do with e-commerce, but just generally for the app design. And I haven't used a container here. I've actually used the layer tag. And what the layer tag does is it treats it kind of like a sticky element. This is going to be in a fixed position. So if you want something to stay in place, even when the user is scrolling through the content, you can use the layer tag, and then all of the shapes and icons or everything just in there. Don't need labeling. Is that a question? We're all good.
There's a really quick question in the chat from Felipe is, do we place the code tag as the name of the group? It looks like both, but if you could quickly touch on naming.
So it depends which tag you're using. So for example, if I go back to our search one here, you can see the tag is actually on the text layer for the search. So depending on what functionality we're trying to add, that master tag list tells you where to place it. So we can see here, these need to go on text layers. For example, if you have other components here, if we open this up, it will tell you to do a video background. You just need to put this on a rectangle shape. For a GIF, again, use a rectangle shape. For things like our nav bar, this container, it will say that it goes on the second level. Now, some of the language here, trying to think, it's not hard to understand, but there's some that go on the artboard, but there's only a few that go on the artboard. Most of them go on the group name, unless here it says specifically text or rectangle. For example, if I go down to App Store Assets, you'll see this one, for doing the app icon or for doing a splash screen, this needs to go on the top level app page. That means artboard. But this tag list is, because it works with both XD and Figma, that's why they're trying to create a bit of a neutral language here that you just kind of have to remember what it means depending on which software you're in. So yes, if your tag is in the wrong place, then unfortunately it won't work, but it's pretty quick to fix with trial and error.
Awesome, thank you.
No worries. Okay, so then when somebody has selected a product, I'm going to go to this product screen. And the way that Bravo currently works is we can't create a basket. So we're kind of doing a checkout for a single item. So it's that kind of somewhat linear flow. So it's you choose your item, you do a checkout and you pay for it. I know that they're trying and hoping to work on baskets in the future, but right now it is just single items. So if you wanted to buy multiple things, you kind of have to go through this checkout multiple times. So this is where, depending on your usage, whether it works or not for you. So again, I have a top bar just to show the user what screen they're on. I have my back button, product image, price, all these good things. So far, no tags. But what we're actually doing down here, if we look at all the payment details, just close that group. I've got little notes here saying there's some input hidden. Now this is because there's some invisible layers here that communicate between Bravo and Stripe. So when the user gets to this page, we need to tell them what currency we're wanting to charge the users in. So I'm based in the UK, so I want to charge pounds. I'm using, the pound symbol. So the tag for that is component input hidden GBP and then Stripe currency. So you need to put both of them together for Bravo and Stripe to be able to properly and successfully communicate what currency to charge. Because if you get that wrong, then obviously you're going to be charging the wrong amount. So if I set that to USD or to euros, obviously with exchange rates, that would impact the price of what I'm charging somebody. And then the second hidden layer is for the Stripe amount. So what amount is Stripe going to be charging the person? For this, we're using component input hidden Stripe amount. And again, this is because I'm connecting to a really simple Airtable database, which has all my product stock and information. So when I go into the dashboard and show you how to bind all of this together, you're just doing it once, and then it basically will work for every product and every screen, display the correct price, and then successfully go through the checkout for that item. So it's basically a lot less work for you and a lot less of that sort of upfront work. So we have those two, and they're the most important ones here. So I've said those ones, I can take a breath because I don't want to forget those ones. So we then have our kind of form fields here. So you can see I have to be organized, otherwise I get really messy with my documents. So for the name field here, we have the rectangle, which is obviously the background box for our input field. And on our text layer, we're adding component input text. And this is Stripe customer number we also need to add. So we're using two tags here, and you'll see they're both within their own separate square brackets. That's because they are two separate tags. Component input text can work by itself as just a text field, but because we need this information that's going to be typed in here to go to Stripe, this is where we have to tell Stripe, hey, this is the customer name, so that they can do all their checks and process that payment. Similarly, as we go through all of these, we also have component input Stripe credit card. This is a very specific tag. It is just for use with Stripe card payments, again on the text layer. For the phone number, we have two tags again. So we're using component input text and then Stripe customer phone. For email, again, we're doing two because it needs to be an input, but we need to send this information to Stripe. And this is the Stripe customer email. Then we have our Pay Now button. So this has an action tag attached to it. And if I just show you a few of these, you can perform a lot of actions through Bravo. So whether that's doing payment like we're doing today, whether that's accessing the camera to record a video or to take a picture, you can do that as well. Whether you want to create a share button, there's a share button around here somewhere. Dun, dun, dun. Somewhere in this list. Anyway, here you go, share dialogue. So regardless of which platform your user is on, that opens the native share kind of overlay. So if you're on Android, you get the little pop-up tray. Same with iPhone. You could open a PDF, you can ask them to download a file, scan a QR, very relevant to the times we're in, search and filter we've gone through. So there's a lot of actions that we can actually tie to the buttons really, really easily, again, without coding and just by adding a simple little bracket in the square tags, in the square brackets.
There's a quick question we have in the chat is, does Bravo take care of error handling and formatting? Let's just say you have a spelling mistake on one of your tags. Is there a way to know about it?
No. So that's more because the tags are going into XD. There's not really a way for them to be checked, but I have found the best way, and the way that I still work today is I will literally click in here, select it and copy paste it so that I know I am definitely not getting it wrong. And I've been using Bravo for some months now, so I still do that, and it's like fail safe.
Awesome, thank you. There's another really quick question in the chat. I'm trying to scroll up to it again. I got a bunch of windows open. Margaret asked, if you made it a product bundle, how would it technically work around the limit of having a basket?
had a product bundle. So, I mean, there are workarounds in that, for example, if you're doing with bundles, you could say, imagine this is your bundle image. It looks, with I don't know, a box or some of the items, whatever it might be for you. If it's a bundle where you're wanting users to select specific things, if you're giving them a choice, then you could perhaps add in to this page here, you could add in a drop down for them to select from, or you could add in, if you want to do it really simply, you could add in a comment. So if you've said already on the product details screen, this is what the bundle is, you can have ABC from these items, you could have XYZ from these items. You could then ask them to put that in. I'm sure there probably is a clever way to do that, actually. I haven't tried that yet, so that's quite interesting. I might have to go and play around with that. But this page, you can put whatever you want on these screens. This is just my example. Like I could have put underneath here a description all about the yoga mat, what it's made of, the size of it, the color, and all those sorts of things. I was trying to simplify it because I didn't want anybody too scared or think it was too complicated. But you can really do as much as you want using all of the tags and the different input types and features, especially if you're again connecting to like an Airtable database, for example.
Awesome, thank you. And a quick question from Susanna was wondering if error handling is done through Bravo for the input fields, for example, if the credit card number is correct or the email address in the right format. So I'm assuming this means like, would you have to create like an error state, and would that logic go through Bravo?
No, so I haven't had to create error states for credit card number, for example, because it knows it needs specific input and it's only giving numbers. It only gives you the number keypad. It doesn't give you like the full alphabet keypad. And because it's connected to Stripe, it's kind of doing that as you go. So as you type the first 4 digits, it gives you the little icon to tell you which card it is, because like MasterCard starts with, I don't know, 455-6. Visa starts with, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is kind of checking and knowing that automatically for you.
Awesome.
And if it doesn't go through, it does tell the user error. And you can actually control what that error message says as well through the dashboard.
Awesome. Cool. One more last question. We'll have Q&A at the end as well. A lot of great questions in the chat. Yeah, Laura asks, once a potential customer downloads this app from the App Store and makes a purchase, will you receive any notification, like an email notification that one purchase was made?
So all of that will go through Stripe, yes. So you'll get an email notification that an order's been placed and that you have received funds.
Awesome, thank you.
No worries. Okay, so we got to our Pay Now button, which has that action. So it goes through the Stripe checkout. And then we have a cancel button. I just included this. So if the users change their mind or they don't want to do this, then this will just go back to the previous screen. And that's action go back, which is super, super useful, especially on things like your back button, because we're not having to prototype and wire that up in XD, trying to think of where would they have come from. So they could have come in from any screen and they'll go back to whichever screen that was, which obviously when we're creating prototypes, we can do in XD, but this is Bravo's tag that it needs to do that same functionality. Then the last screen I have is just an order successful screen. So I just give the user a little message saying, order successful. In my kind of story of how I created this app, it was their sort of ordering and reserving the equipment and then collecting it from the yoga studio. So it's kind of being kept ready for them for when they come in. And then I just have a back button that takes them back to the product screen. So once you've got everything designed up on your artboards and you've got your tags and you're happy, we do have to do a few connections in prototype mode. So for example, I need my product here to go to this screen. So I need to set up this connection. So when a user taps on a product, it goes to the product screen so that they can go through all of the checkout and everything. But you don't need to create a connection between the Pay Now and the order successful, because we will set that up in Bravo. So once we get the kind of message back from Stripe in the background, that payment's successful, it's all gone through, great. We can then tell Bravo to show the user our checkout successful screen. And again, like I say, if there's any errors, they get this little kind of like little pop-up, like toast notification. So once you're done, we go to our plugins panel and find the Bravo Studio plugin. If you haven't got it, you can click this little plus and then just search for Bravo and hit install. You will need to set up a account with Bravo, and there are free accounts, so go ahead and do that. I've already created this, so it gives me the option to update, but if I haven't yet used this XD file for a Bravo project, then it will let me name it and create like it does here. And then that's when you switch over to your browser and go into Bravo. So let me go here. When you first log in, you kind of come to your dashboard. So this is my dashboard with all different apps that I've created. You have the link here to get to that Bravo tags list. There's loads of tutorials, videos, resources. They have some really great sample apps as well. So if I think that is in resources. So yeah, this is a sample shopping app here. So if anyone wants to come and test this out and have a look for themselves, you can have a look here. And what that will do is kind of copy this app into your app space here. A little bit like how I have this like button one. This is a Bravo sample, and it's just given me a copy so that I can play around with it. But once you've synced it, you can open it. So just click on it. All those screens I created in XD, you can see those successfully synced in here. So that's first thing, great, done. For this project, for this app, obviously we're doing payments. So something you're going to want to do is go to settings, and then just down in this menu here, click on Stripe. And because I've already done this, because I've done a few apps with payments, you're just going to want to hit the connect button. So connect with Stripe. What this will do is give you a little pop-up window, you log into your Stripe account, and you set up, basically go through the questions that it asks you to set that all up, and then it's connected, and then you don't need to do that again. So we can go back to our screens and go to products. So now let me show you my little database. And I know databases can kind of sound a little bit scary if it's not something you've done before or it's not something you're familiar with. But you don't need to be techie to do this. This is Airtable. It is pretty much just basically a spreadsheet. That's all a database is. A database is just a giant spreadsheet. It's kind of the easiest way I can think of explaining it. So I just have this with this one database here with my products. So I've got a name of them, the price, and then I've got an image. So you can set these up really easily. You just start with a blank base, and you can give your columns a name. I tend to use just sort of the text for that. For picture, you're going to want to use attachment, and then just add in everything you need. For price, I've just used, again, text. I didn't need it to be specifically a value, just because of how it all kind of links and feeds through together. So yeah, you can see, got these examples there. So next up, how do we get this from Airtable into Bravo? Well, it's super duper simple. So this second little menu icon here is for your API collections. So these are our data sources. This is our collection of all our data. Now I've set up quite a lot of these before. The one that links to this app specifically is my Yoga Stripe payments. So this basically just is a connection between Bravo and that Airtable database. So to create one, you just click on the Create New Collection button. And there is a handy dandy wizard that is basically going to do it for us, which is why I love using Airtable oh so much. So it's going to ask you for the base share link. So go back to your base here, click on share, select base, and then you're going to want to make sure that this is switched on. And this is the link that we want to take. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it back over here, hit continue. And then it's asking for API key. Now, API key is specific to your account. So you're going to want to select your account here. And then it is just this little kind of secret code that's in there. And then we just paste that back in like that. It takes like a minute at most. It's already done because it's really small. And you can see we've got our kind of two tables here. We've got a list view, which is just going to list all the products, and then the detailed view, which would then show all the detail for each product. So you can rename these. So if I want to say yoga products detail, yoga products list, for example. And if I click send, you'll see down here, it's received this data from my database. Now, again, I know this can look kind of scary if this is not something you're familiar with, but I promise you it is not. I am the least code tech person going, and I've done it so many times. If you ever get to any of this kind of stuff and get stuck, reach out. I'm more than happy to help people as they're building their own things as well. But you just want to go through and select the data set points that you need. So because this is for the list, we want to make sure that data records, we're looking at all of them. So we can see we've got all 6 products. We want to get all of them. We want to have the price. So I'm going to make sure that's selected. I'm going to want the name. And what else have we got? The picture. So using an image creates a lot of these things here. The only one that we really need is the URL here. So I could basically turn off all of these. We don't need it. We're not using that data for anything. And I could just go through, turn all these off. The one that we really need is just the one that ends in .url. So that's how you can take the image out of the database and put it into our app. Same thing will happen here. Just make it the same sort of selection. And then you can select this tab for response request. And you can actually rename these things. If this is too poorly named, if it's sort of, what does that mean? What is that thing? I would typically just come in and rename all of these things. So I know that this is product price, product image, product name. So when we go to connect all of this together, I know I'm selecting the right things. So hopping back into this screen here, so we've gone into our apps, right? We've gone into our yoga app, we've gone to our product screen here. This is what data binding looks like. And you'll see I've got this little database icon here because I've already done this to save a little bit of time. So this is where naming your layers really, really comes in helpful, because these here won't show you the Bravo tag. So if you've only put the Bravo tag on the layer name, you're going to get a really random name here, or no name, which is not going to help you when you're trying to connect it all up now. So because I want this to act like a list and basically create many, I'm selecting this group that the card is in, and I'm connecting this to that list table that we've just created. So from my Stripe payments database, I'm going to select that list version, not the details version, and I'm going to tell it to show all of the records. Then within the group where we have our product photo, we then connect that to the picture URL. I didn't rename these. Wish I did at the time. It's ever since I've done that so much easier. Product name, again, you just would select the name and then the price. Then that's pretty much all we had to do binding wise on this page. It's just that one product card that we want to make sure it displays all of our items. So next up, when we go to the next screen, which is showing, maybe your product details, and it's got this checkout. This is where we've got those hidden layers. If you remember, we've got those Stripe hidden inputs here. So we need to tell them what they need to do. Excuse me. So you remember we set the currency. We don't need to do anything with that. But for the Stripe hidden amount, you're going to select this one. And then the same that you've just done before, you select that database you've connected. This time you select the detailed version of that GET request. So it's get the detail. That's what we're telling it to do. And then select price. This way, no matter what product your user is clicking on, it's going to select and show the right price. This way, also, we need to tell Stripe what that price is. So this is why we need to also bind the price to that hidden layer. So that's our kind of sneaky way of not having to create this screen multiple times again. We're going to get the technology to do the hard work for us. Then you can see some of my layers have this little lightning bolt, and that's from our Pay Now button because we've got the action attached to it. So this has got our Stripe checkout action. So on success, remember we didn't put the link here between this screen and this screen. We didn't need to. This is why. So once they hit Pay Now and Stripe says it is successful, we can tell Bravo to load up the order successful screen. So we just tell it which screen we want it to go to. And if it's error, we can show them an alert. For example, we can say, uh-oh, something went wrong. Please try, whoops, again. And you can make this kind of whatever type of error that you want. And that is payments in a nutshell. So I am going to attempt to show you what this does from my phone. So Bravo has an app called Bravo Vision that you can install on your phone. So before, excuse me, before anything has to go to the App Store or anything like that, I can actually preview this and test it out on my phone. So I can make sure that by the time it goes to market, it is working successfully. Let me just get my phone all connected. Were there any other questions? Were we doing okay with questions?
There's a quick question. It was a little bit from before, but when you, maybe we could talk about this towards the end as well, but how would you recommend kind of like showcasing your app? And my question was wondering like how to get your app on like sample apps with Bravo as well.
How to get up. So the sample apps are actually made by the Bravo team as a way of helping the users create what they need. How to best showcase your app? Okay, I'm going to answer a question with a question, which I hate when people do, but I'm going to have to do. Do you mean in terms of trying to showcase it to get users? What do you mean? What's the best way to showcase? Can you expand for me so I can give you a real answer? That was a two-parter. I think that was the two parts of the question, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Showcasing for portfolio or like share the designs.
Oh, that's like a whole other workshop we should do. Love talking about portfolios. So the best way that I would advise showcasing apps and things that you're creating in your portfolio is to tell the full story of that app or what it is that you've created. So give an introduction. So what is this app doing? Is it for a particular business? Is it a small business you've partnered with to create for them? Is it a passion project? Is it for, what is it and who's it for? Give like that kind of quick intro, like elevator pitch style. And then take us through the process of how you've created this app. The worst thing you can do in your portfolio is just show, ta-da, final finished, shiny, beautiful app, because you're not showing recruiters or design managers how you've gotten to that. There's so much work that goes into creating that. You'd be doing yourself a huge injustice if you don't share that. So tell them, what was the problem that you thought of or the problem you wanted to try and solve? Then explain the activities that you did. Did you, I don't know, do any research by talking to people about said pain or types of apps? Or if you're redesigning an existing app, do you know people that use it that you could talk to about it? Things like that. Where did you start? Did you do some sketches on paper? Did you create some wireframes? Show all of these really important steps that you've gone through on the journey of creating your app. And then at the end, of course, show us the beautiful, shiny, interactive prototype. Everyone loves playing with them. Don't just show images on a mock-up. You can do that kind of throughout, but it's really nice if you can also include and embed that prototype. That's what I'd recommend.
Awesome, thank you. Brandon also shared Fergie's YouTube channel with some portfolio reviews, so definitely check that out as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, portfolios is a whole other story. We also have portfolio reviews on Design Buddies too on our YouTube channel. So yeah.
I think that's the biggest request I get through the mentor on ADP list. I think the biggest request I have is hey, can we review my portfolio? It's like, sure, let's do it.
Yeah, I get those requests on my DMs every day.
I think it is the biggest thing of our industry that is just, no one is super sure about, which is totally fine,
Yeah,
we're
there's
all
no
learning.
standard. Yeah.
Okay, hopefully you can see this extra little pop-up that I've brought up.
Yeah, we can see it.
So this is my phone. So hopefully nobody calls or messages me now with the last 10 minutes. So this is basically the Bravo Vision app. So similar to the Bravo dashboard we just logged into from the laptop, I can scroll through and look at all the apps that I've created or that people have shared with me. So there's a few here from last time I was on Design Buddies and we did a little competition, a few Halloween apps people created. But we're going to go ahead and open our yoga app. Dun, 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 dun. So it's loaded up all of our products, and that is because we did that Airtable database connection. So I can scroll through these. Okay, I've only got 6. If you had more, you kind of keep scrolling. We can click into them. I have my little loading screen as a GIF, really easy to create. Then you can see I can start typing in my name. I could start to type in a credit card number. So let's just do, so it knows it's fake because it's going red. So Stripe is actually doing the validation for us here. You can, for test purposes, there are websites that have like a fake test Visa card number. I don't have that to hand right now, but that's usually what I use to test with. Super, super handy. It will not work if you try and go shopping online with it. Okay, don't try it. But it's basically for testing out e-commerce and finance apps. So we put in all of these details here. So, whatever it might be. Phone number again, just going to say email. And we can hit pay now. And it's going to tell us these errors. So Stripe is saying like, excuse me, your phone number is not a valid phone number. And this is something I've purposely typed in correctly, but also incorrectly, because for Stripe phone numbers, we need to include the international dialing number. So for the UK, I need to add 44, take the 0 off the front of the phone number and enter it like that. So now if I hit pay, if I put too many numbers in, let's try this again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our phone numbers are quite long over here. I don't want to put my phone number in. One sec. So our numbers are 07, so I'll put 7. That's enough numbers. Does it want the plus? I'm trying to remember now. There we go. It needed the plus as well. Sorry, my bad. Trying to remember that. I'm pretty sure that is also in the notes from the tag list. So it tells you all of this. So Stripe has tried to take this payment. It said like, hey, this is really not a valid card number. So it's highlighted it in red and it gave us that error. So this is, yeah, it's pretty much how it all works. Hit cancel, we will go back, or if we hit back, we can navigate, navigate out of it. Yeah, that's kind of whistle-stop tour of creating an e-commerce app. There is a tutorial both on my channel and the Bravo Studios channel. So if you want to go through this again with all the detail at your own pace, highly recommend going to have a look at that because there's all the links and everything that you need in the descriptions of them. Yeah, I think, are we at Q&A time? Hopefully I didn't go too fast or too slow.
Yeah, no, you're good. I tried to put in some questions during the event, but yeah, we can do Q&A, but as we wait for more questions to come, we can do our group photo. And at Design Buddies, we like to spice things up. We don't like to be mainstream. So we're going to do a static group photo first and then away for our Instagram story. So y'all welcome to get Zoom backgrounds to one with us if y'all want. Bring your plushies, bring your plants, bring your pets. I had some people like bring their pets, their dogs. We're gonna do a group photo. And yeah, so we're gonna do group photo first and then a way for Instagram story, and also some questions. If y'all think of any questions you have about Bravo, about building apps, building e-commerce stores, even like portfolios as well, like let us know in the chat. I'm assuming most everyone is a UX designer. But yeah, so with that, we can do our group photo. We could kind of stop screen sharing for a second. I can do the group photo really quick. Oh, wait. Okay. Sorry, someone stopped the recording, but that is fine as well. I would have to it's live on cue. Sorry, I just got thrown off by the voice of the Zoom. Yeah, so we're gonna make sure to connect with each other. We also have a networking sheet. Drop your socials on like Discord and stuff, connect with other buddies. I'm gonna count down 5 seconds for y'all to do the group photo, and I'm gonna get Olympus with me this time. I'm gonna take a couple, choose the one everyone looks best in, and then do a wave for Instagram story. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Say XD. It's like the smiley. All right, you can do a wave for Instagram story, and then drop your questions in the chat. Honestly, like, yeah, please keep your socials on the networking sheet. So I want to make sure we don't miss any of our buddies' questions as well. But towards the end, you can drop all your social links because we want our buddies to just connect with each other. All right, ready, set, wave. Hello, buddies. We are at a wonderful workshop about building no-code e-commerce apps with our buddy Fergie and Bravo Studio. Thank you, buddies, for coming. Check the recording on our wonderful YouTube channel. And Wumpus is hi. All right. You're going to say Wumpus and Design Buddies Instagram story, staring at your soul. With that, let's see if you have any questions. Let me continue. All right, thank you, friendly voice of the Zoom. Yeah, I guess no questions. I'll link the channel. Yeah, cool. Or since, all right, just drop your LinkedIn. I feel like just be chill. I don't want to be overly strict because we're just like casual buddies here. But if you have any questions, make sure to drop them in. Otherwise, we can wrap up as well, and feel free to reach out to Fergie if y'all have any questions. Yeah. But yeah, any other takeaways from Fergie about like app development or any other like last minute content or thoughts that you have as well? Cool. Well, if y'all make any apps with the Bravo, make sure to share them on Design Buddies. If you learn something new, tag us on social media. Design Buddies, we'd love to reshare as well. And everyone's like also welcome to connect with me as well. And Anik and Fergie and everyone. Cool. I guess we can cap it off here. And yeah. Anyways, I like to be just chill. So if you have something to plug away in the chat. Our hosts are gonna go in a breakout room and do a debrief, but you're all welcome to stay. So I just got a message. Yes, the recording is on our YouTube channel. So just search Design Buddies and you should be one of the first ones there. But our hosts will go in a quick breakout room for a quick debrief, but y'all welcome to stay and share your learnings, connect with each other on social media. And yeah, just send each other personalized invites saying y'all met at this event. With that, I will stop recording. So bye, YouTube buddies.